Supposing, if you don't take the money he's giving, sir, he might do something worse. If you take the money also, you're going to keep feeling the heart issue.
If I give you money on the table, you become corrupt.
Yes, sir.
And then you also become corrupt because you are accepting money on the, right?
Yes, sir. But if I don't take it, sir,
I know. If you don't take it, it'll hurt you. I know. Just listen, understand what is the cause of corruption. You understand? Corruption isn't merely passing money under the table, bribing, black market, but it has, the cause is something entirely different. Right? I'm going to go into that if you're interested. Corruption begins with self-interest. Do you understand this?
Yes.
If I'm interested in myself and what I want, what I must be, if I'm greedy, envious, harsh, brutal, cruel, there is corruption. You understand? Corruption begins in your heart, in your mind. Not just giving bribe money, and that also is corruption. But the real cause of corruption is inside you. Unless you find that out and change that, you will be a corrupt human being. Do you understand what I'm saying? Corruption is when you are angry, when you are jealous, when you hate people, when you are lazy, when you say this is right and I feel this is right and stick to it. You understand what I'm saying?
It looks like everything comes down to selfishness.
Everything comes under selfishness. You are quite right. Corruption begins there. You understand, old boy?
Yes.
So don't be corrupt. It doesn't matter if you die for it.
Sir?
Wait, listen to me. You understand? We are all so frightened. You say, but how will I live? What will I do if I am not corrupt, when the whole people around me are corrupt? You understand what I mean by corruption? Not just the outward sign, but the deep inward sense of corruption that human beings live with. Selfish, thinking about themselves, wanting their success, envious. You understand? So, corruption is inside, in your heart, in your brain. So if you understand that very carefully, and you are really serious, not cynical. Most of those grown-up boys who are going to live have become cynical. They see what the world is. They say, well, I've got to accept it. That's a form of cynicism. But if you understand very carefully from now that corruption is not merely passing money under the table, bribing whether it's 2 rupees or $10 million, it's still bribing. And being violent is part of what is called corruption, terror, all that. That's what's happening in the world. If you You are a human being growing up. Don't be like them. Don't become angry. Don't be envious. Don't always seek success.
So how can we stop all that? How can we stop being envious and...
If you want to be envious and see what happens. You understand? But if you don't want to be envious, don't be envious. You don't say, how do I stop it? If you see something dangerous, like a cobra, nobody tells you, you run. Right? So, corruption inside is most dangerous. Right? So don't be corrupt. Begin there first, not out there. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Will you do it? Don't promise.
So?
Don't ever promise unless you're absolutely going to carry it out. Right? But if you see how important it is in life, because you're all growing up, growing into this terrible world. It's an insane world. You understand? There is no sanity in the political world, in the religious world. Right? In the economic world, there is no sanity. So, please, I'm just pointing out to you, whether you're grown up or leaving this marvelous valley, or staying here for another 2-4 years, don't be corrupt inside. Don't seek vanity, proud, pride. Don't say I'm superior to somebody else. You know, you learn a great deal when there is humility. You know the word humility? Yes. You learn a great deal if you are really humble. But if you are merely seeking success, money, 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 power, position, status, you understand? Then you are beginning with corruption. You might be poor. Be poor. Who cares? That's why it's important for you, for all of you, to find your own talent and stick to it, even though it doesn't bring you success, fame and all that, which is all nonsense anyhow, because we're all going to die. You understand, old boy? While you live, live. Not with all the rubbish that's going on.
Sir, then why don't people realize this, sir?
Because they don't think, they don't feel, they are thinking about themselves all the time. Their job, their administration, their work. You understand? They're not interested in this. Very few are.